the first rule that we want to look at is Iqlab. So could you just tell us what this means and where it's found within the Holy Quran?
So just like you mentioned, the first rule that we'll be looking at is the Iqlab. And the definition of Iqlab, it basically means conversion or changing. And Iqlab happens when you have the Noon Sakin or the Tanween, and the next letter that follows this Noon Sakin and the Tanween is a Ba. And what changes is that the Noon sound is not produced or pronounced clearly. Instead, it turns into a hidden Meem sound. But alongside this Meem sound, we have to add the nasal Ghunnah. And we've touched upon what the Ghunnah sound is in the previous series. And we all know that the Ghunnah sound is for at least 2 counts, and it's the nasalization of the sound, concealing it into your nose. And your lips gently prepare pronouncing a Meem, but you don't make like a full clear Meem sound. And the best way to pronounce this is that you stop your tongue from making a clear Noon. And you let the sound come through the nose and you perform the Ghunnah sound, which is of 2 seconds. And then you pronounce the Ba, which follows straight after the Noon Sakin or the Tanween.
I think it's really well explained, Talat. So I think to accommodate it, is there any examples that you can give?
So I have 2 examples from the Holy Quran. So the first one, if we can see on the screen, it's Inna Allah Sami'un Basir. And as we can see over here, the Sami'un, there is a Tanween over here. So the sound that's produced is a Noon Sakin sound. And straight after the Noon Sakin sound that is produced from the Tanween, we have the letter Ba, which follows this. So according to this rule, we will not be producing the Noon Sakinah sound. This will convert into or change into a Meem Sakinah. And that's why sometimes in our Quran Mus'haf, in our writings, we have a small Meem that they place on the top when this rule appears, so that there's ease, so that people can understand that over here they won't be producing the Noon Sakinah sound, it will be the Meem Sakinah sound. So the correct way to pronounce this will be Inna Allaha Sami'un Basir. So I will not pronounce the Noon Sakinah, it will turn into a Meem Sakinah. Another example is Min Ba'di. So over here as well, we have the Noon Sakin, but straight after the Noon Sakin, there's a Ba. So in this rule of Iqlab, the Noon Sakinah will turn into a Meem Sakinah, and the same thing will happen over here.
Yeah, it's really prominent when you do turn the Noon into the Meem. Are there any common mistakes which can be made?
So the common mistakes, as we have discussed, people, when they come across this rule, they will tend to, instead of producing the Meem Sakinah sound, they will produce the Noon Sakinah sounds. Or over here as well, it won't be Min Ba'di. So when we're joining this together, because of the Ba that comes after the Noon Sakinah or the Tanween that produces the Noon Sakinah sound, it will turn into a Meem. So these are some of the common mistakes that people make.
I remember in the last episode, we also discussed about the nasal sound being quite difficult to make if you're not used to making that sound. So are there any tips of how?
Yeah, so I think we mentioned this in the previous episodes. So one way that a person can produce the nasal sound is, try and hold their nose and feel the vibration. Of course, not in public, like you mentioned before as well. But the best way to see if you're producing a nasal sound is to see if the sound that is going into your nose, you will feel it with the vibration in your nose. And also another common mistake that people make is that they close the lips too hard. And remember, when you're producing this Iqlab, it should be soft and gentle and smooth.
Very good. I think all the viewers as well can try and practice that as well. So the examples were on the screen, so try to go back and really look at that and try to work on it. That's the best as we can. And as you said, the point of it is to improve the quality of the recitation.